Okay, hello. Today I'm going to break down how I made Time Flies, which is a song off of my EP Window Fog that released last December. I just dropped a music video for Time Flies a couple weeks ago. So if you haven't seen that, I'm a little confused what you're doing watching this video, but you know what? If you haven't seen it yet, the link will be over here. I suggest you check that out before watching this video, but you know what? It's your life. Do what you want. Okay? Thank you. When I wrote this, I was in San Diego at my parents' place. And, while I was there, I didn't have any, of my instruments or any of my stuff. But luckily, good old Papa had a couple of acoustic guitars of his own. I picked one of those up and I kind of wrote the whole song with just an acoustic guitar. And you know what? You can get pretty far with those guys. So I kind of started with the chords. So get my good old acoustic boy over here. I wanted to have a little bit of like a picking melody or something going on with the chords, instead of just chunking regular rhythm guitar chords. Which nothing wrong with that. No shade. I'm not a great guitarist, so that's what I do most of the time. But I just wanted a little bit of something going on. So I kind of wrote a really simple chord progression with a couple of those in there. So it was a little something like this. So just a little simple chord progression like that, 4-chord progression. And that's what I started with. So if we're looking over at the good old Logic Pro session, I did everything on my Mac. I'm a big Apple guy. If you're not into that, sucks for you. Just kidding. Respect to all platforms out there. But I'm deeply invested in the Apple ecosystem, so that's what I use. So looking at guitar, chorus, Yamaha acoustic. Here it is. Yeah, so that's the loop. Put that in there. I think I panned it right. What is this chorus strat intro? Okay, so I guess I doubled it on the left with my good old Fender Stratocaster over here. Did the same rhythm thing on there with a little bit of like a chorus pedal, I think, is what I put on there, and have that doubled, pan to the left. So that chord progression basically makes up most of the the A section of the song. And that's usually how I kind of start out writing my songs. Just start out with the chord progression, and then I kind of figure out little vocal melodies and like what I'm going to write on top of that. So I added a little riff kind of layered on top of the chords that happens in the second part of the verse to kind of build up as it's going into the chorus. So that's this. So that kind of adds a little bit of intrigue, builds it up going into the chorus. And then the chorus, again, same chords, but I added this melody. The chorus melody, I wanted to be a little more recognizable. So that's... Yeah, so that's kind of, the basic A section, which is the verse and the chorus with a couple little melodies on there. I wanted to add a B section, something a little different as like an interlude. Pick up the good old trusty acoustic again, and I was like, what are some other chords I can fiddle around here? And I wanted it to be, I thought maybe throw in a couple, start on a minor chord, make it a little more, whatever, like little funkier, little trippier, whatever you want to call it. So this is the kind of chords that I came up with for the B section. And then again, I wanted to have a little, melody on top of that. So that's what this sounds like. That little melody, what is it? I think it's initially was just a straight on melody. That's how I wrote it on the acoustic. And then once I came back and I was playing on the electric, I was like, you know what? I think it'd be more fun to have a bend in there, just add something a little different. So that's the B section. So then after I'd kind of put together the B section, I sent it over to my good friend Dilip, and he was like, I think the B section is cool, but I think it could have a little more bounce, have a little more, something going on there. So I added these keys to the B section to give it a little more dancey, funky kind of vibe. So that's the A section and the B section. So that's kind of the basic bones of the song. We go to bass, and this was basically begging for a a moving bass line, something interesting. Fun fact, when I started writing the song, or when I was putting the song together, I had never picked up a bass guitar in my entire life. So, good start. Great. Yeah. Good job, Prashant. What were you thinking? Anyway, I wrote the bass part just with whatever the Logic like plugin for starters. And then when I came back from San Diego, I bought a bass guitar. As you can imagine, I wasn't a great bass guitarist because I'd never played it before. So this isn't the most clean bass playing, so don't roast me in the comments, or do actually, because more comments is better. But it's not perfect, but when it's buried in the mix, it does the job. So this is kind of the bass line. And then the verse, I made it a little more low key. And then finally in the B section, I have this bass. So again, just a couple, mostly staying within the scale. But yeah, just a little bit of like a moving bass line to keep the momentum going. Again, pretty simple once I wrote it. Just had to figure out how to play it. But the drums. So again, I did not have access to a drum kit, nor had I ever played drums before. And that one seemed a little more daunting than the bass guitar to have to buy and pick up and figure out. And I also live in a tiny apartment in Philly, so I was like, I don't know. So for this, I just settled for, putting the Logic drummer in here. And you know what? No shade to the Logic drummer, because the Logic drum kits are actually
pretty gosh darn solid.
I put in the Liverpool kit, which I like because it's like, I guess it's styled after the Beatles, whatever, the Ludwig like drum kits or whatever. But it's got like a nice kind of like vintagey, like whatever, like more dead kind of sound. So I just pulled out the good old MIDI keyboard, programmed in what I was going to play here. Yeah, just pretty simple drum pattern. Yeah, a little tom fill in there. But yeah, otherwise pretty simple. Kind of just a 4/4 little, drum beat going. So that's kind of everything. I'll play all of these and you can kind of see. There you go. That's the bare bones of your song. And then the last, of course, is the vocals, and this is where this file gets to be a little bit of a
thicky boy.
You can see there's like what 29 vocal tracks. In the verses kept it pretty simple, pretty straight on. Just one vocal. Son, I need to know you're running. Chorus, things get interesting. Then I start throwing in these doubles. So let's hear. Time flies, oh. Double with, one of the doubles panned a little bit over there. Then I threw in a bunch of harmonies. What are these? The thing with harmonies is like, I kind of just will, I don't properly arrange them beforehand. So I'll just, grab my mic, record one harmony over it, then start at the beginning of the loop, record the next harmony, and just kind of stack vocals like that. So I guess I labeled them properly. A third up, a fifth up in the lower octave, a seventh up, the lead, but just have the O be down or whatever. But yeah, you can hear. Time flies, oh. So that's the harmonies. So there you go. That's the lead vocals and the harmonies. So that stacking just gives it a little fuller of a sound, and brings the energy up in the choruses. Then in the B section, the B section is mostly instrumental with that little guitar lick going on. But I just had a couple of little vocal things happening just to keep it in the mix. So little O's and stuff. And here, of course, harmonies as well. The only really different, interesting thing is the B section loops twice at the end, so I have all these little ahs and stuff going on. I put this little speaking part in there. Honestly, no good reason for this, but it was just kind of good. But yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, so that's a little Easter egg buried in there, which I think makes it a little fun. But yeah, there you go. That's kind of it. That is how I made Time Flies. Yeah, if you haven't heard the song yet, I don't know how you made it to the end of this video without having heard this song before. But you know what? It's your life. I'm not going to tell you how to live it. The links should be here somewhere for you to see the music video and listen to the song in its full. There you go. That's Time Flies, how I made this. If you want to see more videos like this, breaking down songs, then let me know in the comments or hit my Insta DMs or whatever you want to do. But yeah, thank you for watching. Peace.